Blue Crow, World Loser, Toilet Gator. Welcome, guys, to our chat stream, and welcome to lichess Twitch. I'm International Master William Paschall. We are playing blitz chess today, solely 5+3, so no 8+3 challenges, nothing but 5+3 challenges for our Fast Friday stream. Make it a little bit fun for players who like to play blitz, and basically give us time to play a few extra games, because normally with the 8+3 type time controls, I'm only getting in like 10 games a stream. This way we can make it like possible to play more players with the 5+3. I'm in Budapest, Hungary. We've got a really bad weather. Yesterday was beautiful. Today it's like pouring rain, and I'm hoping I can open the window so I don't suffocate in my office, but we'll wait a few minutes for that. A whole bunch of challenges. Audisto or Loser, welcome, guys. Aura Knight, Nabil, a new player, I think. No, we played LB once, at least. And Mule Skinner and Blue Crow challenging me to Chess 960. If anybody else wants to play Chess 960, I'll play up to one more Chess 960 game. Sounds good. Should I risk? I think I'm gonna risk trying to open the window because I need some air circulation here. Like 20 minutes ago, it was raining so hard that you couldn't even hear the stream, probably. So hopefully we'll be good to go. All right, let's get started. 5+3 with Audisto. We're gonna play fast. Try not to think too deeply, and get started here. So I played a lot of different things against the English. Try to play a mix of systems. The World Loser checked the list of participants in the tournament. Zalakaros, you're not yet registered. Thank you for checking that, World Loser. Fortunately, it's not a problem because that list has not been updated. They're very lax over there, and you have to go to chess results, chess-results.com. This site didn't used to have this feature, but now chess-results.com has tournaments that haven't yet started, as well as ones that are ongoing. So if you check on chess-results, you'll find the Zalakaros in list of Hungarian tournaments, and you get to see an updated list, because that list on the Zalakaros website, unfortunately, it's not very professional, but it is not at all up to date. Okay, what am I doing here? I played c5, and then really talked about this before. I don't really love going into hedgehog. We can do this here, I think. Anyway, it's a blitz game. Now come to think of it, I did this against Audisto before. Maybe he can play d4 there in a good situation. But we did do this once before against Audisto, so this is not a good choice. It's not a surprise. I forgot I had played him already. Yeah, actually, a friend of mine registered, and they kind of messed him up. He was supposed to play in the A group, and they didn't get his registration and put him in the B group. And now he's like stuck because there's not enough places. There's a limited amount of space in this tournament, and my friend actually has a serious problem. Now, I couldn't play in the B group because I'm not under 2,300, but it's not very, I don't mean to criticize them too much, but it's not very professional that, not to have an updated list on the site, or at least a link to the chess results. Rapport is registered to play, or was. He's dropped, he's like 2698 now, so it's interesting that there are all three, Leko, Almashi, and Rapport, are like around the same rating. Hungary doesn't have a clear chess champion, per se. Leiko's never been the same since about the time he got married. I always joke about this with people, but you know, you see it sometimes. Life-changing experiences, and the player is just not the same. Anyway, we're gonna see. The last time I checked the list, I was around halfway down. So now Adisto decides to go d4, but he's done this in 2 moves, so I really don't think that I don't think Black should have any problems here. I'm just gonna castle. There's a couple different ways we could play this, I suppose. You know, if he goes knight b5, we can go for like d5 as a sort of temporary pawn sacrifice. That looks really, really gutsy and probably good. Twelve 2,600 players registered. Yeah, he's a beginner now. Can we do d5? I think it's asking a bit much, but what's White gonna do? He's played queen d2. You gonna castle queenside? I don't think so. Well, knight e5 is sort of interesting here. Only live once. Well, that's what they say anyway. I don't really want to get carried away here. My bishop is unprotected on b7. And a6 kind of weakens my structure. Rook c8 is tempting. I am running out of time. I'm only 66 out of 127 players. That's putting me in the bottom half, huh? It must be nearly full. I mean, I don't think they're going to have place for more boards than that in the top section. So it can't change too much. What are we doing here? d5, take, knight takes. Knight takes d4. Man, I'm going to lose on time. Rook c8. I guess you can play d6. Oh man, I don't really like this move. It's very passive. Yeah, but 66 I would be... I would be the bottom half. Yeah, that's right. Wait, no, 66. Twice of 66 is 132. I would be in the bottom half of... I'm in the bottom half. 63. Yeah, I would play like board 3 or something. That's what I was thinking, but I was really hoping, you know, if I do get paired up, it would be nice to play board 1. Last year I had to play Romanov and listen to him complain about how I played for a draw in the first game. The most pathetic story ever. I don't think that guy's on the list. He had enough people playing for draws against him. It really disturbed me. It was like absurd. And anyway, I'm not going to focus on negative things. We're going to try to focus on positive things. D6 is really passive. This move... I'm just thinking, like, if White tries to get aggressive here, he may sort of lose the initiative. I mean, like, knight b5, knight c8, rook d1. I can probably play knight e5 around there. And he's got problems with c4, and if he plays b3, he has problems with the c3 knight. So I don't think he can, like, try to kill me right away, is what I'm trying to say here. And now we both wasted all of our time. Passing glance at something like, let's see, 95. First round against a 2600 player, yeah. That would be likely. But it's good. It's good. You know, I mean, you don't get the pairing with a 2100. That could mess up your chances for a title, Norm. Not mess it up, but make it harder, basically. You want your category to be as high as possible, so I want to play as many 2600 players as possible and draw them all. If I can draw like 9 2600 players, then we have a GM, Norm. Or even like 2580s probably would be enough. Okay. He has this problem with the c3 knight. I mean, who knows what's going on here? Knight takes d6. He can't take on d6 anyway, or can he? Knight takes d6, knight takes d6, queen takes d6. Well, it's complicated. I mean, it's possible he could have actually tried it. It's a pretty weird position now. We both don't have any time left. Yeah, you're right. I got to get a positive mindset. I'm just saying, you know, I mean, if you're going to play a 2600, a draw is good enough. Wow, what's up with this position? A super weird situation has arisen. We're just making life uncomfortable for his dark squared bishop. Thought you'd see it your way. Okay, deal. Maybe I should just play queen e7 here. But I kind of need a place for my knight. I mean, I don't really like a7. I hate undoubling. I would hate to undouble his pawns here. Anyway, looks like a standard hedgehog where I've got the bishop pair, you know. The dark squared bishop for free. This is kind of a problem. What am I gonna do? Choices are limited here. What am I doing? Rook takes. Oh no. Oh no. Mated myself. Nice job. Aldisto good with the direct attack. I think you're playing the wrong opening, Aldisto. You should be playing like something more aggressive. Wow. He just checkmates me in like 5 moves. F5. What do I do here? Wow. Even the computer doesn't see this as really strong. I had a good game too. But I have to be very precise, I guess. Taking on F4 maybe not the best move. I had a bad feeling about it. Fixing his pawns improves his position. I mean, this is a situation where I can absolutely let him take on there unless there's an E5 sacrifice. So, I mean, if I were to play something like knight D7, that would be good, but I can't let him. Let's say knight E7. If I just sack a pawn here. You know, I mean, it was really stupid to take on F4. Fix your pawn structure. Good game. Alright, so we lose the first one out of the gate. Very strong player, though. Alright. Rook takes F5. That was pretty good, man, with no time on the clock. World loser. We got to try to play something to take him out of his normal. Ah, G3. World loser also very positional. I feel he would do better in more dynamic openings with white, maybe. Just throwing it out there. I mean, you play D4 pretty much exclusively, world loser, but I feel like you're pretty aggressive and you see tactics well, so you might also do well playing some E4. Alright, let's just try something. You wonder if bishop F6 was necessary. Absolutely. There are a lot of possibilities. I think black was better. I had a good game and I was like a little overconfident. I don't even need to hold on to the pawn. I mean, I think... Okay, it was time control, you know, where we both had like less than a minute. Wow, E4 straight away. We both had like less than a minute for, you know, after like 10 moves, so it was kind of like a 1-minute game with 3-second increments. World loser, see what I'm talking about? Like he's migrated to an E4 game here. Like I'm telling you, he should play E4. Why does he play D4? Now we have some problems. We've got a kind of weird French type position. I don't really like this. Tricked me. What is this? C5, C3. And I should have played D5 here, I guess. Now he plays E4. And he's better. Looks like a bad French for me. I don't have any kind of activity. Not having a good time here. And white's got all his time. B6 maybe? The problem is B6, he's got C4 type ideas. So I don't really know what to do. You don't think it's good? I think it's pretty good for white, this position. I'm just gonna play it, try and lock up the king side, and then slowly play on the queen side. White is definitely better though. F6, I didn't like it. You know, if you're gonna play F6, you can play it now. I mean, white could play F4, or he could take on F6. I thought, to be honest, it looks perfectly playable for white. I don't want to let him trade dark scored bishops. Looks like white's just better here. Why am I black every game? What's that? He plays challenges in the order he gets them. G-Dog. Uh-oh. G-Dog, I play. Play me, I suck, though. Well, there's no like rating requirement here. I generally try to play. I'm willing to play anybody, regardless of their level. We don't discriminate based on that or anything. Try not to, anyway. Queen d3 is kind of a weird move. What's his idea? Well, it doesn't have to have a deep idea. I mean, I think that World Loser generally, generally speaking, he doesn't spend a lot of time on his moves. He just tries to make practical moves fast. Yeah, he's threatening this like shot now. Knight takes e6. It looks like. Excuse me. This is bad. Put my rook on b8 and now knight on b6. I didn't expect him to put his knight on f4 and block his own f-pawn, but he's playing for sort of cheap tactics in this position. Okay, it's fast time control. I just have to just play. Usually we're playing like longer time controls, up to 5, 8, 3. It's pretty fast, 5 plus 3. I don't have as much time to talk about the games and sort of discuss what's going on. A5. I don't know. Is that a threat or a promise, as they say? Okay, this knight on b6. It's a bad piece. I just got it out of the way of my bishop coming to d7. It may have to recirculate. We have no pressure on his center whatsoever here, which is sort of disappointing. I mean, I can play fast too, if that's what we're gonna do. Just play fast. It's 5-3. Damn, dude. He always plays these weird moves that you don't expect. Bishop d2. 99 out of 100 people would have played like knight c3. It's actually, it may have been a blunder actually. Yeah, I had knight c2 takes d4. Winning by force. Man. He sidesteps all my threats with this move, rook c1. He manages to sidestep 2 threats with one move. He stops knight c2, and he stopped bishop b5. It's kind of lucky, like he's just lost in one move, doesn't see it, and then he stops both my threats with one shot. Alright, whatever. just going to degenerate to a blitz game. Look how well his pieces are coordinated. All of his pieces are like perfect. He has no pawn breaks. He didn't seem conscious that the pawn break in the position is f4. He put his knight on f4. But space, and it's like, what's this? More. Not sure what he's up to with queen f3. Just freeing his bishop, I guess. Increasing the scope of all of his pieces. So strong positionally and tactically. World loser. I wonder what his elo is. If he's ever told us what his actual elo rating is. Okay, I'm happy to see this exchange of pieces, though. We're trying to free our position. We have less space. Okay, whatever. All right. Yeah, maybe that should go at some point. We're going to get the same problems with f6 like we had last game. So irritating. The same as last game. He's always ahead of me on time. Very systematic the way his pieces work together, isn't it? Maybe I should just take his knight off. It's kind of inconsistent. Like 1 minute he's bringing the knight back, now he's changed his mind. I'm not going to rush to the c file. I'm not sure what rook c3 does exactly. Let's fix our pawns on the correct color. Fix this here. Stop any b5, use of b5. Wow. What? It's a pretty good tactic to spot, like no time. He sees all this with like no time? Damn. Wow, dude. Why'd you play that, though? We gotta run away. What? What kind of move is Queen H7, dude? Wow. It's pretty amazing. You serious? What? Right. Watch this sequence, dude. Using no time on the clock. Best move. Best move instantly. Best move instantly. Knight f6 was weird. And here he has a much stronger move. Queen takes g4. I wonder why he decided to play the second best move here. Queen takes g4. I might be holding on. This is a blunder. I would never find king d8 in 100 years in this position with no time on the clock. Its idea is to play queen e8. That's my only move in this position. But it's amazing how quickly he found those moves. Like g4 was instantaneous. This is not a good position now. d5. Alright. I don't know, d6, you've already got some problems, but probably instead of d6, you could try e6 here. I think this might be a little more dynamic. Play e6, takes on d5. I think white has a good game now. h3, stopping bishop g4. Do you prefer red wine or white wine? I'll venture a guess. On my wiki, that's a kind of strange topic to bring up here. Blood. The color of blood. I just lost 2 games in a row, and online wiki's asking about the color of wine that I drink. Dude, are you serious? Wow, e5 here. I don't know, there's a couple different ways to play this. This looks pretty good for black too. Maybe we'll let that sit there. I don't know what to do. Alright, it's a tough decision when black plays e5 there. Whether to take en passant on e6 and let him like take back with the bishop. I decided to leave the e5 pawn, so It's sort of transposed to a King's Indian, but kind of a strange one. Getting my rook off the long diagonal. Aura Knight. Wow, Aura Knight. Check out Aura Knight. Hasn't lost in the last 5 games we played. That's pretty impressive. I've already lost my first 2 games. I mean, you guys should be like 2,500, you know? I'm wondering why your ratings aren't higher here. Alright. I don't understand knight a6. I don't even have a clue. You're playing like a game I saw recently. A very, very good game I showed to one of my students. It was Reshevsky versus Mecking. And Mecking just retreated his knight back to a6 after putting it on c5. Problem is, damn, this f5 is going to be an issue with my knight on c3 unprotected. What am I going to do? Maybe we'll just have to play f4. We'll have to hold off on b4 so that my knight remains protected. I'll have to hold off on b4, I guess. I don't know too much about Aura Knight. We beat him the first 3 games, and then we haven't won since that. We got problems with the c3 knight here. Can't play b4. Maybe we'll have to play knight e2 or something. That's bad, though. Okay, let's execute the original plan, which was to play bishop a4. Trading off my bad bishop. I'm typing secret notes about you. I have 3 monitors and 2 computers here, so a lot to worry about. Basically, it's like a launch center for NASA. Bishop c6 is kind of interesting. I feel like I can breathe a little bit better, but at the same time, the goal was to play b4. I don't know, man. This is really difficult. Even this move is sort of interesting. I'm just going to play on my instincts. I'm not going to like try to describe what I'm doing or calculate anymore. I lost the first 2 games because I'm just not playing just a normal blitz game. Like, if I was just focused on just playing, I would just do better. But at this time control, it seems like I'm just struggling. Trying to annotate the games while playing at the same time seems to be too much for me. If I just focused on just playing, I'd probably dominate, but it seems to be too much of a struggle for me to concentrate on answering questions and then playing really strong players who are just hosing me. And mostly they're playing very fast against World Loser in particular. I should probably just not commentate the game at all. I just have to just try to play and not get in time pressure like I do every single time. forget that the stream is about instruction and just try to play, for winning or losing. I mean, I just can't stand like these streamers who do like bullet chess and they sit there, oh yeah, this is like hanging a queen. And I mean, I really want it to be about like getting better, and then like when the game becomes totally results oriented, I feel like it loses its value. So, here like Aura Knight, I mean, I don't want to criticize his play, but he's just sort of like moving around real fast, but he doesn't seem to have any plan. This is one of the main things that I talk about. I've lost my first 2 games, but it's more important to concentrate on trying to make good moves than on the clock. It seems like everybody that I play on lichess, their first priority is the clock, and this is totally the wrong attitude to have if you're gonna like try to seriously get good at chess. I think the priority has to be on trying to make the best moves, and 95% of the players here aren't trying to do that. They're just trying to stay ahead on time. I think because maybe there's so much bullet chess and now hyper bullet or whatever. Oh, good. Naka smashed GM Sergei Grigorians in the first speed chess battle. Oh, brother. Exactly what I'm talking about. The problem is too much focusing on just time. Naka's a great chess player first and foremost. He's fast. His fastness is secondary. Now G4. This looks like a pretty cool idea. Thematic. But I mean, Grigorians is no match for Nakamura. That's like me against I don't know, a 2650. I mean, Grigorians is like a practically average GM. The last time I played him, it was like an easy draw for me. Grigorians is like 2590 or 2600. I don't know. No match for Nakamura at any time control. Wow. Look at this position. This is sort of demented. Maybe we should just lock it up and then try to take over on the H file. I regret that every game becomes about time. Black's here gone totally passive. But his speed is excellent. But he's made a lot of positional mistakes. I'm still barely able to beat him. Yeah, now he's got knight f8 ideas to defend. Look how fast he plays. He's like 2700 in terms of time play. What are his time control like? In bullet, he's 2200. Just a lot of questions about his position strategically here. Man. It's like he can read my mind or something. He just like can almost pre-move and know what I'm gonna play. I didn't realize he was so time oriented. And some sort of like hyper competitive style player, it seems like. He just knows I'm gonna play like before I play it. It's very strange. This is just against everything I kind of care about chess-wise. Just about, it's like masturbation, this game. Really, it's totally moving back and forth and playing fast. Maybe we finally force a trade of queens. Even that's going to be hard to make progress. I don't understand how this guy is not 2,500 in blitz if it's this hard to beat him, honestly. It's kind of difficult to imagine. He hasn't lost in the last 5 games I played him. And this is like, I could just barely win. And he even finds this tricky move, knight c7. And then another trick. Just like trick after trick with no time on the clock. And he doesn't resign. Just a weird game. I mean, you should be like 2,400 at least in blitz if you can defend that well. I mean, that kind of position. Damn, dude. It's practically, it's almost what? Telepathic. I mean, that's the first game I've won in 6 games against the guy. Nabil, you should be like 2,400 at least if you can defend that well. Such a horrible position. Damn, dude. And he's 2,100 in blitz here. I mean, my rating, I'm actually underrated a lot at 2,400. I mean, I could easily be 2,550 if I cared about my blitz rating. I just let it go down. But I mean, someone who's 2100, I should basically win like 85% of the time against. And with that guy, I mean, I felt like I was playing a really, really strong player. As far as time management, and he made a lot of positional mistakes, but obviously if there was no increment, I'd have zero chance of winning in that kind of game. That's the first game I've won in 3 games today. Lost the first 2, and barely winning like a 100-move game in the 3rd game. Too much focus on time, though. You know, I feel like the Aura Knights game, mostly time-oriented. And he's making a lot of concessions. He doesn't care about the position. He's just trying to like stay ahead on the clock. That's fine for playing blitz, but if you want to improve your game, you know, beyond playing blitz chess on lichess, I mean, you need to focus on trying to make the best moves. It's like addictive to play online blitz, but a lot of positional mistakes. And despite all those mistakes, Black still almost survived that game. Nabil also plays very, very fast. I don't know, you know, I mean, blitz is cool, but it's great and fun, but you've got to really try to create something, you know, not just move the pieces around. I feel like there's more to chess than just, as I said, you know, crudely comparing it to masturbation. But chess is meant to be a beautiful game. There's a lot of aesthetics, and I just feel like this super fast blitz, like 1-minute chess, is degenerating the game. Actually, not just blitz and 1-minute chess. It's happening like unilaterally. I was looking on Chess Bomb and at some recent tournaments, and I noticed that this is actually a stupid move for me. Knight a4, trading off that bishop isn't such a bad thing for him. I noticed on Chess Bomb recently 2 recent tournaments, the Latvian Championship and the Czech Championship. Okay, now Nabil, he's not even thinking. He's just like making moves blindly. I mean, why wouldn't you take on a4 here? The Czech Championship and the Latvian Championship. Time control? Well, I mean, it's already like the FIDE time control of 90 minutes for 40 moves. I think 90 minutes for 40 moves plus game in 30 with 30 seconds per move. That's already a fast time control. Aldisto and World Loser are suspicious players. I don't think so, Chekmatov. I just think I didn't play that well. What's suspicious about them is how low their rating is on lichess. They should both be like 2300 plus. But anyway, I don't know. You know, they don't take the game that seriously when they're not playing against me. They don't care about their lichess rating. I mean, but these guys both played master level games. But anyway, back to what I was saying was like the Latvian Championship and the Czech Championship. These are national championships. Check out the time control. Game 90 with 30-second increments. I mean, that's ridiculous, dude. It's absolutely sick. The Czech Championship, which is taking place or just finished, it's like a 9-round Swiss with a game 90 time control. The quality of games in game 90 is like horrible, you know? And this is a national championship. And check it out. They do the rounds at like 5 p.m. every day. Like, what's that about? Like, you're gonna like go to work and you know, your 9-to-5 job at Tesco and go in and play like your 4-hour serious game for the national championship of the Czech Republic or something. Like, I mean, maybe there was a mistake on the website, but usually when it says all moves in 90 minutes, it's all moves in 90 minutes. I mean, that's pathetic for a national championship. And the Latvian championship had the same time control. So it's like already already we're at the stage where the quality of chess has gone way, way down from what it was like even 20 years ago. And now we're going to make the time control faster. That's a great idea. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on it. Chess doesn't need to get faster. Nobody's watching chess more because they changed the time control to 5 hours or 4 hours instead of whatever. And what are these people doing like all day, before their 4-hour serious game in the evening at 5 o'clock or whatever? I mean, you're just going to be like tired. You might as well have 2 games a day at that time control. I mean, with game 90, I don't understand. You could have 2 games. Seriously. Nabil, this is weird. I thought I was better, but it's not so easy to find the move. Bishop d3, knight b4. Nabil is also a practical player. Oh shit, he's beaten me 3 out of my last 5 games against him. Well, I recall some time losses. But we better be careful here. I think it has to do with live chess streaming of events. Well, I mean, I think that I don't know. I kind of doubt that the Latvian Championship and the Czech Championship, the live streaming is of high importance there. If it were like, I don't know, pro chess league or something, I understand. But, if it's like some promotional thing, but for like a traditional national championship or something. But if turning chess into a TV type of sport is just bastardizing it, I think, Chess wasn't made to be played game 90. And the quality is just garbage. The quality of the games. It's already bad enough. Like, there's already no time for endgames. No, I have no advantage here. Nabil. 2200 bullet. 2000 classical. That's what I'm talking about. Like, all people care about is playing bullet chess. But it's just garbage, There's a lot of people here who would like 2200 in bullet. They would get absolutely destroyed in any kind of normal tournament. Black playing impressively here, though. So compact. Positionally, he's turning into God on me here. I did manage to win 1 game today, but it was like 100 moves. I must be pretty weak. Paschall's from Latvia. Interesting. Well, I don't really follow chess in Latvia, but I mean, it is a former Soviet country. It has had a lot of chess history, including a world champion. I mean, you may not think that chess is that popular in Latvia, but compared to a lot of countries, it probably is, relatively so. This is just a draw. I'm never going to beat this guy. He's already, check this out, he's already like 3.5, 4.5. That's pretty good. Look at the recent score. Win, win, win. So we got 1.5 out of 4 basically today. I mean, Latvia has a history of pretty good chess, I would think. And the Czech Republic too. It's not like the United States, where like the average people don't know anything about chess. Probably the average Latvian like knows who Mikhail Tal is, or has at least heard of him. Okay, you could say the same thing about America and Bobby Fischer. But, I don't know. I just think like most former Soviet bloc countries probably have a higher chess culture than most. But anyway, I'm just singling those out, you know. Two traditionally strong chess countries, Czech Republic and Latvia, with this ridiculous 90-minute time control for the national championship. I mean, that's the direction that chess is going. And it's sort of sad. I don't think I had too much chances of winning this game. Nabil like just doesn't have any opening. He plays the most ridiculous move I've ever seen, Bishop D7. And then he somehow plays another bad move that's like awful, A6. And I let him equalize here. I must have missed something really good. Okay, Queen C2 was slow, probably knight somewhere right away. I could have played knight A4, knight E4. Played absolutely horrendously in the opening. Just bad move after bad move, and I let him off the hook here. I'm ranting too much about the chess world, and I need to focus more on the games. What's that? Chess was made across a minefield. Let's see. Uh-oh. Is that good? I kind of drifted into a bad move order with this strange backdoor move order. Knight F3 now, and if I play D6, E5. I was actually looking at this yesterday. I'm not sure how bad this is for black. He doesn't even play E5, dude. That's like the critical move, I thought. We had this once before. Aura Knight, I don't know why you're telling me about your FIDE card. I didn't suspicious anything about you. I just think that I was talking about that you play too much for time. You know, if somebody's suspicious about you getting assistance or something, it wasn't me. I think you're playing, your game is just, you know, too much based on trying to play for time. But this is a gripe I have against everybody. World loser. Most of the players here, the first focus should be on trying to play good moves. But I think the thing is that people become too obsessed with winning and losing. You know, and that's where we start to fall into a trap. If it's about, you know, this isn't a rated game, dude. This isn't a live tournament. We need to try to get better at chess, and just like playing fast moves like it's, you know, the only goal is to win on time is not going to help anybody to get to be a better chess player. And it seems like that's unfortunately sort of a sickness here in the internet chess world, and I'm trying to fight against it. Basically, it seems like people, all they care about is winning and losing, not about getting better at chess. And we're trying to make a point about it. But I don't know why Aura Knight said that, you know. I mean, I was talking about that he's very fast and strong, but nobody's making any accusations, dude. What am I going to say? Like, you didn't even play well. Like, you're a computer or something? I don't understand. Like, you played badly and you just play fast. I mean, I don't need to see a rating card. It's just a point I'm making about people, and they're just trying to play fast to win or lose. You know, that's all they care about. And they lose touch with what chess is about. You know, trying to play really good quality games, trying to really understand the game. I mean, that's what my stream is about. You can go watch people play bullet chess, meaningless, like mindless, shuffling the pieces and clicking the mouse as fast as you can. A lot of places, but you're not going to find it here. I mean, I'm just a little bit frustrated today, trying to struggle with the time. But I do the Friday blitz, try to make it a little bit of a kind of different from my usual 8+3, suffering a little bit. But I'm a strong blitz player. I don't look like it here because I'm trying to commentate when I'm playing. But technically, I should own all you guys. You wouldn't know it from my results today. I should play tricks only. Why? Why you always play unrated doing streams then? Oh. Is that interesting to you? You're a streamer, right? Tricks only? What's your motivation here? Like, I've never gone on your stream and started to ask you leading questions or anything. That's kind of weird. What are you trying to say, dude? Are you trying to provoke me or challenge me or something on my own channel? No, dude, I think just your name itself is sort of ironic. That's exactly what I'm against. Playing for tricks. Playing for time. I mean, it's just like meaningless chess masturbation. But I would never go on your stream and ask you questions like that, dude. Oh man, alright, we gotta go back to D8 here. No, I just always play unrated because first of all, people cheat with computers. It encourages them to cheat with computers. And secondly, I mean, I'm trying to commentate the games and I'm gonna handicap myself by telling people what my next move is. I mean, it doesn't seem really logical to play rated games when you're telling your opponent your move and also encourage people to cheat with engines, which is a constant problem that you'll probably encounter the more you stream here. No, it's just kind of it looks weird when another streamer comes and asks you, why do you not play rated games? I mean, I'm gonna be kind of feeling like you're trying to kind of make me look like I'm afraid to play rated games or something. That's what it would obviously appear. So I was kind of a little bit surprised by it. LB is just dropping a piece here with E5. And in the spirit of what we're talking about, I think we should offer him a take back because this is just silly to have him play E5. I mean, unless I'm missing something here. No, I think that the playing rated games encourages cheaters, and it also is just sort of crazy when you're telling people the moves they should play. To handicap yourself like that is just a massive disadvantage. I already have enough problems playing an equal game. When I'm trying to annotate what's going on is basically half my time is gone. I'm playing 2-to-1 time odds for the most part. If I have a 5-minute game, I'm probably spending 2.5 minutes chatting and answering questions. So it seems pretty obvious why I would not choose to play rated games. I mean, I say rating's not important. Okay, I should qualify that and say, in the greater scheme of things, it's not really important. But at the same time, I don't want to be 2100 and have people say, oh, look at the IM with the 2100 rating, I mean, I'm trying to do this as a means of making a living, So if people think I'm a complete fish, I'm actually kind of hurting myself, But I mean, you should be able to understand that. I mean, it's obvious that rating, it's relative, but it's not a big priority. It still has some importance. I don't want to be like 2000 international master, like the lowest rated international master on lichess or something. Obviously that would be detrimental to what I'm trying to do. I mean, but it seems very obvious to me. What is Chekhmatov doing? I mean, I just think that you never heard these reasons. I don't know, dude. If you're doing what I do, it's sort of hard to understand, but okay. It's just kind of hard to understand, like, how somebody wouldn't heard of those reasons if they do the same thing I do every day. Again, I think it's another story, but whatever. Forget about it. So I'm glad I gave him a take back. I'm like worse now. Completely lost my focus. All right. No, I get very emotionally charged, and I'm not. I mean, it's not like you come here every day and you take part in my stream tricks only. Like, for the first time you show up and you ask like this very leading question about why I play. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like self-promotion or something. It's a bit strange. But I'm just trying to explain where I'm coming from. If you're like here, you're hanging out with me every day, like Justice Bot or someone like International Master Spinal Tap, who know me, I mean, then I would kind of like think it was okay. But when you're like a stranger who never comes to my stream, it's kind of weird that you ask this like leading question. I'm very sensitive, it's okay. Mule Skinner. But if you've never noticed like people cheating or using computers, then you're lying, because it's like a constant problem. It's all right. No, I mean, I just get upset, very easily. So I felt I took it the wrong way. So I mean, I do think that the rating is important. I have to make a living. People are gonna think that I'm a really weak player if my blitz rating is 2000. So anyway, that's where I'm coming from. So I can't afford to completely not care about what my rating is. But in general, I don't care that much. I mean, like you, probably. I don't have to be like 2700. And like a lot of people here, like the top players, it's very important you notice that they're like 2601 or like 2701. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Don't have to focus on that much. But I don't want to be an embarrassment either. That's what I mean about the rating. Anyway, last game was just kind of distraction. Sorry. We'll try to focus a little bit more here. Mule Skinner. No tricks only. I didn't know that you were watching before. I had a lot of problems with people using computers, and it frustrates me a lot. It makes me very upset, and I don't like to accuse people of like using engines, and it also opens up a lot of debates and anger, and so I'd prefer just to kind of avoid the rated games, just for that reason alone. Like, it's just more temptation for people to try to cheat to gain rating points alone. It's ridiculous, but it happens all the time. So Yeah, I mean, my main focus is just trying to get people to, to think about the game and play better, and including myself. I mean, this is partially a selfish, motivation. I want to get better as a player. I'm not that old. I can still probably improve like 100 rating points. So by doing these streams, I think that I can get better too. It's not just about like being a chess teacher and trying to make money teaching people lessons and stuff like that. I think I can actually improve, probably, to the point where I'm like 2,500 elo. And I think if we really focus on playing the best possible moves rather than time, that's making progress. But it's just so addictive for most of my opponents here to play for time. I'm making it a little easier on Friday. Basically, this 5-3 time control is getting really close to normal blitz, and so I'm not I'm not in a good mood because I lost my first 2 games today. Basically, I've been in a bad mood all stream. I don't like to lose, to be perfectly honest. I talk about it. It's not about winning or losing. But again, it's like the rating points. Just because I know what's right, we say, there's a saying that says, like, practice what you preach, do as I say, not as I do. I mean, I'm as vulnerable to everybody else as the temptation of thinking about, like, winning and losing being the more important thing. I keep saying it's not important if you win or lose, but to me it's still important. I get upset when I lose. I just admitted that I don't like losing. I lost 2 games and it bothers me, but maybe not for the same reasons as some other people. It's not that I have to be the best or better than the other guy, but I'm disappointed with myself. I expect a lot of myself. Not like I have to be better than other people. I want to do the best I can, and I'm disappointed when I lose. And I still believe, that improving is more important than winning or losing. But that doesn't mean that it's not important for me to win. I feel like we're making progress. It's encouraging. So I would be lying if I said winning and losing is not important at all. It is. It's got to be a little bit important, or you would never care at all about the object of the game, which is to win. But I don't know. We have to put it in perspective somehow. It's really hard. So on the one hand, I said rating is not important, but on the other hand, it is a little bit important. For example, like if you want to get better, the number one reason why having a higher rating on lichess is important is to get to play better players, or any site, live or online. That should be like the number one reason why you want your rating to be higher. You get a chance to play better players. I mean, that's really the best motivation you can possibly have. So Tricks Only is a horrible positional player. I didn't know that. That's good to know. Uh-oh. It looks like I'm a horrible positional player. We're going to have to sack the exchange here. Or not. Maybe I'm panicking too early. Maybe not. Oh, man. D5. We're in bad shape now. I thought I had king g7, but he has bishop h6. Hold on a second. I think I'm going to have to sack the exchange no matter what I do. Like king g7, bishop h6, check, king h8, pawn takes pawn, or bishop f7 there. We could just sack the exchange with rook takes b3. But this is a disaster. I didn't see that he had bishop h6. Hold on a second. Yeah, it's bad. Okay, we can lose a pawn. We've got to lose at least a pawn here. Man, this is really bad. If tricks only is tricks only, I'm more like no tricks at all. I'm like a no-trick pony. Rating is important, yeah, for, I think, getting to play stronger players. That's got to be the best reason. Okay, king g7, bishop h6, check, king h8. You could try to play it like that. Ooh, it looks really horrible. We're going to have to give up something. I wasn't really sold on this. I'm just down the exchange for nothing there. So he takes on h6, which I thought, this actually kind of positionally helps me. And now, you know, if he does win the exchange, it's not really the end of the world. Because we have two pretty good bishops here. But I'm a little concerned that he might have something better than... He might have something better than winning the exchange in some lines. So we've got to be extra careful. Unfortunately, e6, bishop takes g6. But anyway, I'm sorry for being so sensitive today, guys. I sometimes get like a little emotionally out of control. E6 is interesting. I'm probably toast here, honestly. What about g5? King h7. Maybe that's the best move. Hi, Tiger Bin Lim. We make a good team. It's okay, no, but I mean, anybody who watched me enough knows that I'm a little bit sensitive, you know, and I was in a bad mood already. And I took Tricks Only's question the wrong way. I have a very fragile ego. And this was a big problem for me playing poker, because I have a tendency to lose my self-confidence very easily, and it's a dangerous thing. Self-confidence is vital, you know, in anything that you do. It's not good to have too much of it, but it's also necessary. I feel like we got out of this. We got out of this with relatively minimal losses, theoretically. But we still got some issues. All right, let's just... Maybe I should leave that guy. I'm afraid that the d file will open up. King g7. Maybe take with the f pawn. Either way, he's going to open a file for his pieces to create havoc. You know, so I'm thinking, like, how can I play this, basically? How can I play this position so his rooks don't get open files? And I can't play bishop c4 because of this stupid trick. Ironically, tricks with e5. So we don't have any pawns for the exchange. We're basically losing, but he doesn't have open files for his rook. His rook's plural. It's lost for black, but there's some technical difficulties. I'm not in good shape today. Well, I got distracted, but that's not an excuse for my first game with you, World Loser. I just, you know, as usual, I was a little bit slow out of the box, and World Loser is like usually the first one. It would be good to warm up with a weak player in the first game, but we don't always have that luxury. So I have different reasons, you know, for performing badly. I have excuses for everything, but I have different reasons for performing badly at different times. Basically, in the beginning, I'm usually kind of sleepy, and then I kind of got... It just spiraled out of control. But anyway, that's a lot of... It's just a lot of fun to watch me suffer. As much as I say I don't, like, think that we should put too much importance on winning and losing, if you don't, you know, how are you going to perform your best? I mean, I'm often, like, amazed by certain players, like Anand. Anand is constantly regarded by other players as, like, a really nice guy, You know, people always say things about Kasparov and Fischer, like they were kind of, Fischer in particular, you know, he's a mean person. You know, he's kind of a monster. And Kasparov was this ultra kind of, you know, wanted to kill the other guy kind of personality. Not as bad as Fischer, but along the same lines. Anyway, I mean, what I was going to get to was that players like, let's say, Anand, you know, who are basically like nice guys. So what I'm trying to get to is to say, you know, what motivates these people to perform really well? You know, let's say an Anand. What, you know, what is it? Like, he's not interested in killing the other guy or crushing his ego, you know. Wow, we're lucky here. So I've always been amazed by that, you know, this nice guy kind of player like Anand. The difference is that he's so talented. Like, he just, like, chess for him is like falling out of bed, you know. He doesn't even have to try to be like 2700, it seems like. He was always like that. So strong that, you know, he doesn't have to crush people's egos to just dominate the chess world. Like a true, absolute natural talent. We're very, very lucky in this game. Muleskinner kind of came apart. And I played badly, but at least I have the satisfaction of having showed you guys the best practical way of defending this position. Muleskinner absolutely winning. I played badly, but, you know, if we can go to the middle game here where he was winning, and I was proud of the way I played this because, as I said, I was objectively lost. But like in this position, I think that we can get something out of this. This whole thing, you know, I found a way to kind of get him to take the exchange in a way that left my king sort of safe, and then eventually here I made the decision to take on f4 and not allow him any open files. And so, although I didn't play that well, we get some value out of this game, at least as a kind of like lesson in practical defense. And then we were fortunate that he misplayed it. Probably we don't get to see it that much from me, but my greatest strength is my defensive skill. Alright, tricks only. Make sure, yeah, say hello. Don't worry about it. I'm overly sensitive. I owe you an apology. So we'll try to check out your stream as well. Thanks for dropping by. But again, I have a very fragile ego, guys, so I sometimes lose my control. I lost 2 games today right out of the gate. What am I gonna do here? C4. Hi, Tiger Lindbaum. I can't say it. You met Anand a couple of times. We had a seminar with Carsten Mueller as Anand walked in searching for a friend. Then he proceeded to analyze the position for us after Carsten told him he doesn't understand the position. He's really the god of being nice. Well, I mean, this is a person who doesn't have to, yeah, like I said, he doesn't have to like kick your feet under the table or crush people's egos to win, you know. I mean, and it was so easy. It's just so easy for him. But I think it's also maybe one of the reasons why he's sort of faded out. You know, he's not that intensely competitive as some other top 10 players. So, I mean, he's got to be competitive, like I said, but being a nice guy, I think, you know, he's going to slow down, and crushing egos isn't his game. You know, another player that kind of fits the mold is Aronyan. I think not an ego crusher, and a nice guy, but so naturally talented. Muleskinner, yeah. Well, at least we can get some defensive instruction from what I was able to do there, from a practical standpoint. We've got challenges with King Chaser, Akram, Mog, and Constant Change. Huh. All I need is constant change to beat me down today, because I've already gotten thrashed twice and struggled all around. You know what, though? I wasn't really talking about it, but I've been really busy this last couple of weeks, and I feel like one of the pieces is missing from the board or something here. I've been really busy the last couple of weeks, and I haven't been playing any blitz off stream at all. And so I think it's starting to kind of affect my play. I'm basically kind of rusty. And this 5-minute time control, I'm super slow and not really that sharp. Alright, so I didn't see this take, and the queen unprotected. So, guys, I didn't have time to mention I have a YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube. D5, nothing to do about it. We don't want to take if I can't, take on D5. I don't think I want to trade the C pawn for C pawn. Although he's going to threaten D4. We have a problem, I guess. We also can't just hang our pawn either. So there's some really unpleasant possibilities here. D5 is an extremely strong move. I missed the boat. It looks like H3 is very slow. We've got a pawn hanging. He can also just spatially decimate me with D4. Wow, we have just an awful position after that. So I think we're going to have to play D3. It's a really, really bad move to have to play. But I don't... Man, this is worse than the time I lost to a Copion in like 17 moves. I was basically lost in 4 moves after introducing a very important novelty on move 3 or move 4. I resigned on move 17. I was lost on move 5. Important theoretical novelty on move 4. Had a lost position on move 5, and I resigned on move 17. It looks like that. Like if I play D3, D4, black just has like a crushing space advantage. Plukro, you know when to kick someone when they're down. How about a hyper-modern approach like knight D1? It's crazy. This is crazy. I'm getting carried away. I mean, I don't know. But no matter what, the knight's going to have to go backward. Even if I played E3. I'm going to drop a pawn if I play E3, though. This is a counterattack. Threatening pawn takes pawn. Turning it against you. What a brilliant move. Slightly off topic, there's a new payday candy bar flavors. Not off topic at all, man. I mean, that's perfectly normal. I just watched the 3rd episode of Fargo, which is a TV series in the United States. Speaking of candy bars last night, and something I hadn't seen in 20 years was this American candy bar called whatchamacallit. I completely forgot those existed. I don't think they have that in Europe. What if we take on D5, trade queens, and give him the C file? I'd like to trade queens, but I think I'm making too many concessions. You've got to be careful when you're worse and you feel desperate. The tendency is to try to trade pieces, but oftentimes when you do that, you're giving little advantages and allowing the opponent to accumulate little advantage here, little advantage there, and it builds up and suddenly you're lost. Here it would be a good example of kind of releasing the tension in a way that probably only makes my position worse ultimately. If I trade queens, he takes the C file. Yeah, this is like the only TV show like I've liked in the last 2 years. Bishop h2. But anyway, if anybody else, I don't think they have those in Europe. Whatchamacallit, though. I saw it last night. I was like, wow, that's amazing. Here's something I haven't thought about in like 20 years. Maybe more. Maybe since I was like a kid. I don't know when the last time I saw one of those. But I'm glad you brought it up, Laz Hazior. Plucro. So after knight d1, yeah, it's kind of weird. How should he play the position? I'm proud of this move, knight d1. Could have made a lot of bad moves there. Okay, now, Aronian, if you guys saw some recent beautiful game he played with white against Naidich, I annotated that game for chesslecture.com. It's not out yet. Chesslecture.com is a pay site that I work for. I have worked for like 10 years. I helped to create it, actually. But I don't like to, promote too much. But I do have a lot of good videos over there. If you guys ever want to join up. Anyway, Aronian had a really nice game with like knight a4, c4 into e3. Really different stuff. Okay, now here is a question. Do we go to c2? Are we gonna get hit by knight d4 later on? I'm thinking we go all the way back to c1. For lack of a better choice, there is queen c3 going after the pawn. Worth a thought. I'm a little bit scared that my queen will end up exposed here. And I'm about to lose on time. Alright. You think that d takes c4 was a bad move? I agree with you, World Loser, on a fundamental level. Yeah. On a fundamental level, he's abandoning his strong point in the center. So, unless he has a good tactical reason for it, Okay, opening the position can be good sometimes. But in a vacuum, World Loser is right. I don't like taking away from the center there. This is a big part of his advantage. The fact that he has a pawn on d5 here. So, in f5, it's a little bit of a space game, but it's also kind of like weakening his position, weakening his king maybe. I'm not. It looks like a Grand Prix attack. This is basically some kind of weird Sicilian. I've played like c4 against e4. We can castle. I love it. We're probably going to castle kingside. Probably. There's that knight I was talking about. What about my other knight? Actually looks like a pretty good hyper-modern position. Knight in there. Yeah, this is good. Wow. I'm starting to talk like the people from Fargo, the Minnesota accent. John Bartholomew, I guess, is from Minnesota. Does he talk like the actors from Fargo? Alright, knight e3. I think those people just talk like Canadians, basically. I can't really tell the difference. It sounds like a Canadian accent. By the way, living here in Budapest has changed the way that I talk. I have a tendency to try to change the way I talk to sound like easier for people to understand when you live in a foreign country for a long time. Yeah, I mean, since I've been living abroad, I can't watch these shows on TV. So, it's not that simple. Uh-oh. I thought you were going to cooperate with me here. Damn, I don't want to lose on time. Oh. Okay. Well, I'm actually... Having very strange hallucinations here. Having very strange hallucinations has been called. You could have some problems. Maybe it would have been better to go to f3 now that he's chopping my guy. Oh, this looks a little bit weird. I don't feel comfortable. Black central control is just... Oh no. No. Oh no. Please. Please don't let me be losing again. Thank God for the fianchetto, whatever that is. Do you call that a fianchetto, by the way? It should have a name, like, you know what I mean? We've got fianchetto for the bishop on g2. This should have a name, too. It's not fair, like, that doesn't have its own personal type of name. Blue Crow, what are you thinking about here? Of course. What else would you play? Convenient. Central break. Oh. Oh no. What's going on? This is not that clear, is it? Oh no. Somebody get rid of this bishop on b1, please. All right, Blue Crow. It's been a good day today. You got me. Damn, dude. So I'm lost from this point. Bishop c2. Whew, I have to find this only move here. No, queen b2 is also good. I was so frustrated with these two pieces that couldn't move. I just couldn't bring myself to play anything but bishop c2 here. I mean, even d4 might be better than that. Nah. You pose too many practical problems, Blue Crow. Good game. Yeah, pseudo fianchetto. How about that? King Chaser. He often doesn't show up after challenging me, but today he's with us. I've kind of been beaten down today, so I started to accept losing. I don't know what my problem is, though. You know, I don't have a hangover. I slept enough last night. I don't really understand why I'm getting beat down so much today, but I feel a little bit foggy-headed. let's say. I think part of it is what I was talking about earlier. Not that I have to make excuses for myself, but part of it is the fact that I haven't been playing much blitz outside of the stream. I've been too busy. I go through phases when I play. You know, if I have extra time. It's not necessarily a bad thing for my chess overall, but as far as my time use goes, I'm really slow. And I'm also not that sharp. The graph wasn't good there. It was a pretty ugly game, but I started to drift when I got overconfident. You know, I got a decent position, and then I just started drifting. This is a funny position that I had. I used to play chess for money in Harvard Square in Cambridge, Massachusetts, at a cafe and for years. And there was this one customer, this like 2,100 guy, who always insisted on playing this position for black. Every single game we ever played where he was black, he would always play the same line and go into this. But I don't really think that black has quite enough compensation here. I don't even know the guy's name. I probably played like 30 games with him over the course of like a couple of years. Expert strength player, but he always insisted on playing this pawn sacrifice, and I just, you know, again and again and again, like no matter how many times I would beat him, he would insist on playing this pawn sacrifice, and I just don't quite think that black has enough compensation. You know, like you would learn after a while, after losing like 20 times, that yes, it feels dynamic. You're like got some initiative, but you know, I was always like shocked by the guy that he just doesn't learn from his mistakes. This position just isn't quite good enough for black. The problem is that white is not just up a pawn. White is up a really important pawn. I mean, this is basically like a protected passed pawn, you know. And okay, king chaser played bishop c2. I don't think our hero played that move. He wasn't in it for like getting his material back. He was more into trying to like outdevelop me. But this bishop goes to d2. We just develop. I think we should give the pawn back, you know, and not be materialistic. I'm not sure I have a choice, but I mean, a lot of people might try to play something like knight d2, hanging onto the pawn, you know, and I think that's the wrong idea. The moderator is also cheating. Well, if you went by the ratings, you know, I mean, you'd think I was drunk or something. I mean, based on how many games I've lost today and the ratings of my opponents. And I really barely, like, I lost the first two games and I was able to barely beat Aura Knight. I mean, statistically, it's really bad. You know, I should do much better than that. And so I mean, a lot of people just don't think that stronger players ever lose. I don't think that anybody who's playing today was using any sort of assistance. But I do think that some people's ratings are too low, you know? Like World Loser, Aura Knight. Thank God it's not rated. So we sacked the pawn back. We played king e2. I played this move a little bit quickly here. I was joking that I don't have a hangover and I'm not drunk. But I have to admit, I feel a little bit like that. I feel like I'm in a sort of daze right now. This move was played almost on complete intuition. They said that Mikhail Tal, for example, you know, he played fantastically when he was drunk. There's a kind of, I don't know what you call it. Okay, let's say when you black out and you walk around in the city, you know, you just don't remember what happened afterwards, after like a drinking binge or something. But at the time you were like sort of semi-conscious. This move was played by me in an almost like semi-conscious state, king e2. I mean, you have to admit, like, castling should be an interesting possibility as well. I played this very quickly. I also just retreated my bishop, and I didn't have to. But I will have to, you know, when he does that move, which is obviously coming next. Now, I still think that white has a big advantage here. But it's actually not as big as I wanted. Is bishop d2 a good move? Playing a little bit too routinely. You know, maybe I should have considered e4, castling instead of king e2, but this is a classical sort of way to play. a6 was pinned, but he's gonna play that rook c8 move anyway. So it's like a temporary situation. I was gonna have to move my bishop eventually. Next move, if not right away. So nothing happening here. Grandmaster draw. Now he castled. He could have played king e7 in the same style as me. I'm gonna play aggressively here with g4. We're definitely in endgame mode now. And we've got a protected passed pawn. We're trying to immobilize his doubled pawns a little bit, long term. He has a queenside majority. It's a little harder to use, but it looks absolutely relevant here. And now he's got this nasty control of c4 that I sort of let him sit there for a long time with that bishop. Wonder if I didn't make a mistake. Wonder if I didn't make a mistake being a little too laissez-faire here over the last several moves. What are we going to do about it? Knight c4, he's just locking me down. Alright, I don't know, guys. I think I let that bishop sit there too long. You know, maybe I should have driven it away earlier. Definitely not 100% today. I need to play more. Need to play more blitz. Still probably not worse here. Fundamentally, my position is so sound, but he's got very good Grunfeld type of control, kind of blockading my center. Bishop is kind of crap on d2. Why people cheat? Not that again. Let's not get onto that again. I couldn't really say because I never cheated. I've told this story once before. In like one of my very first tournaments when I was 1300, I was with a friend of mine, and during my game I went into the bookstore and I actually like double checked the position. And my friend never forgave me. He was like, "You can't do that, man. You're not allowed to look up the opening in the book, you know." And I felt really bad. That's the only time I ever cheated in any way in a chess tournament. I checked my position to see if I was still in book in this tournament when I was 1300. Yeah, I don't understand either, but you know, then again, why do people mass murder people? You know, I mean, people do a lot of crazy things that don't really make sense to rational people. So, what can you do? Maybe we play bishop e4 here, bishop a5. How are we gonna unravel? I'm taking away this square, but I'm not convinced about my position. You know, I have a passed pawn. He has passed pawns. Let's see, maybe b3. He's kind of frozen. Maybe I can play like f4, f5. It's still not going to make forward progress for white. Let's see, bishop check. I feel like I'm just drifting, making random moves here. Black remains very, very solid. Knight h2, huh? Knight h4. We don't really have a concrete plan. And we have a passed pawn, but that's blockaded. He has the potential for a queenside passed pawn that's harder to mobilize. We have a little bit better central control. I've been talking a lot about my philosophy about chess and trying to get better and not to play for time and to focus on making the best moves. But something else I should mention, if we're talking about improving in chess and theories, I think that the single most important, concept in chess is basically wait a second here. The single most important concept is evaluation, is what I was going to say. The ability to evaluate positions. If you can master that, accurately assessing positions. I'm trying to do my best Aronian into sort of imitation. Imitation. I almost played f4 there, didn't I? I almost played f4, just like dropping material. Oh my god. Okay, I was about to flag, and I just freaked out. If you want to know why I just played the last two moves I played, I'm just trying not to totally freak out in complete panic. I think it's a draw, this position. We basically up the screwed. Oh no. We basically screwed up, and that's why you see me making kind of random moves here. Where are you going, man? But I don't know if King Chaser is playing for a win or he's just kind of feeling it out to see what's up here. You know, we could be a little bit better again. Could have drifted into a better position. Oh no. Kidding. You can do that? Man. Okay, I mean, he just lost in a drawn position. I think this is not winning. Computer likes my game though. That doesn't mean that I'm winning because it's +1. Bishop e5, bishop c5 check, bishop d6, bishop a7. I'm not making progress with that. The computer's real excited about the fact that I have doubled pawns, and I mean he has doubled pawns and I have a bishop pair, but +1 is not a winning position, and this is a fairly simplified ending. I think this is a draw. You know, you see, speaking of evaluation, Kotov books. Mule Skinner, I don't think the Kotov books are above your level, dude. I mean, I remember when I was working with the Kotov book, you know, Think Like a Grandmaster. Yeah, it's kind of like, it feels like you're not good enough. It makes you really strain your brain, but you know what I mean? Don't say that. you know, I think you're absolutely good enough, you know, and it doesn't mean you have to understand everything. If you can get anything out of it, it's good. Akram, we're in trouble. I mean, this guy beat me yesterday. He's pretty fast. I highly recommend Think Like a Grandmaster by Kotov, and I don't agree that Mule Skinner's it's above his level. Oh no, not the same thing again. Alright, we gotta play something different. I mean, I'm not gonna repeat that. Yesterday he played well, one day we'll play the same line again, but for the time being, let's play something different. We played a King's Indian attack yesterday. Seems like Akram is kind of specialist in the King's Indian attack. And he played an interesting idea yesterday, which I always was kind of not sure about, but I didn't want to repeat the same exact variation. Something a little different. Anyway, getting back to what I was talking about, you know, so the most important thing you can do in chess is to correctly evaluate positions. And once you can do that, you know, I think you can kind of use logic to find the best moves. You know, if you know that one side is better and why, you can start to construct plans as to how to exploit those advantages. I mean, a lot of players are purely tactical. Tricks Only was talking about that he's a tricky player. He's not that good positionally. Okay, you know, there are players that are basically like that. But usually most people are a combination of these things. But if you're learning the game at any level, you can apply the same principles. Try to apply logic, and remember that the most important skill you can develop is your ability to evaluate positions. White is better here, black is better here because of this and this and this and this factor, and this is why, you know. And then you can extrapolate backwards, you know, and say, okay, if black is better here because of this and this, you know, what sort of moves and what sort of ways am I going to be able to exploit these advantages? It works. Akram, very aggressive, playing the extended fianchetto. Now knight f3. Of course, f4 type of ideas are really double-edged here. A million years ago, I lost with white, with black, in a kind of colors reverse type position against Boris Golko. That's when I started to play bishop g5 against the King's Indian. This here is a reversed version of that, bishop g5 King's Indian, or Smyslov system. And this is sort of double-edged. Castling queenside is risky for me. I certainly could have castled king side, the other king side, queen side. I certainly could have castled king side. So this was risky business for black. Definitely. And Akram seems like a dangerous player. Guys, we have like 25 minutes left in the stream. I want to remind everyone that I have a YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube. I'm going to try to put up a new video over there, some sort of game analysis, or maybe analysis of some online stuff I've done. Maybe sometimes we can review some games that we've played on the stream or on the simul stream. I've also added some Grandmaster games that I've gone over. over the last few weeks. What? Okay, this is a really wow. What should we say? Like an offer I can't refuse, right? I think that's a little bit excessive. I mean, maybe it's good, but I'm sure that White had more conservative ways of playing the position. You've got to admit he has compensation. I mean, the bishop on g2, it's a dangerous piece. But to be fair, I think objectively, he should have played for b4 right away. I mean, instead of this fancy sacrifice, and why not just like b4 straight away? Okay, but anyway, I mean, this actually looks interesting in either case. Now, I don't know if I should play knight d5. Blocking the long diagonal seems logical, and there's these weak squares here. It was also possible to play c4, and ironically, yesterday's game against Akram, this was actually a really important theme for me, to do c4 at the right moment. So here I'm taking with the bishop, and I was thinking of blockading, along the b file. This takes my bishop off this diagonal, obviously, but he's put his queen now on f3. And we're going to need to protect b7. Well, this was my first plan, to block frontal threats against b7 with the bishop. If nothing else, I'm a decent defender. Better than most. Hard to kill. Okay, f2. He seems to be playing on intuition, and I don't think he had a deep plan when he did this pawn sacrifice. He was just, again, using his intuition. And still, what am I supposed to do? I'm up a pawn. It's a double pawn. He has a dangerous bishop pair. Maybe I play f5, but that would weaken me along the e file. Interesting possibility, though. He's defending f2. That's very logical. The other possibility is knight e3. I guess we can't really go wrong with that. It does open up this. But I'll trade his bishop on g2, first of all, eliminating the main protagonist or antagonist. And the other option of him giving up his dark squared bishop leaves me with a very strong protected passed pawn. There are obviously risks involved for both sides, but it looks like he's got some dark square problems. Rook d4. Now I should try to focus all my attention on the dark squares. We have a better structure. I don't want to lose my e3 pawn. He went with f5. Interesting. But his queen is trapped. So he had to play rook f1. Rook f1. And I don't know, it looks like black's better, but it's not that easy to win. I'm curious when he played e5, you know. I mean, what about b4 here? Same idea, just without, you know, sacrificing this pawn. Ironically, the computer wants to play c takes b4 e5. Akram. That's pretty cool. Maybe improved version, you know. I think I would have to play, you've got your favorite idea here too. I think I'd have to play knight d7, but now b5. You'd be very comfortable with that, which is a move he did against me yesterday in a similar King's Indian attack. Okay guys, we have 15 minutes. Let's try to play these last two games. No more challenges, please. Dan Elios says, what a magnificent mustache. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm very, very torn, you know. I'm very emotionally fragile today too, so don't mess with the mustache. Scared of knight takes g4, but you know, you're never getting mated with the bishop on the white squares. It's like a dragon. I could have like tripled pieces on the H file and I can never checkmate him. Maybe with tripled pieces I can checkmate him on H1. Yeah, knight takes g4 is a trick sometimes. Yeah, b4. No, with the knight on f3 you've got nothing to worry about. So you had the right idea, you just probably should have done the pawn sacrifice a different way. But objectively, it's not a terrific setup for me. It's equal probably. It's a little risky playing what I did. You know, the Smyslov with the tempo down. It reminds me of some lines of the Rossalimo Sicilian actually, which is hard to understand. But anyway, reverse Grunfeld. Hopefully, I fought back to a plus score. I've lost at least 3 games today. I think we're... I got angry with Tricks Only when he asked me why I don't play rated games. If you could see why, right? I'd be like 2100 now if I played rated games. People would be mocking me. We've had a bad day at the office. But as I said, I'm a little bit rusty with the fast blitz. Haven't played at all in the last 2 weeks. Aura Knight, yeah, are the Dragon Bishop and the Grufeld Bishop the same bishops? You know, I was just talking about someone about that yesterday. It's not a coincidence that people who play the Sicilian and the Grufeld, like Kasparov and Fischer, you know. I mean, Fischer didn't play the Dragon for sure, but Kasparov has. And I mean, Fischer played the Benoni, the Grunfeld. Is it the same bishop? Well, you know, it's the same bishop. It's the same idea philosophically, too. Counterattack, hyper-modern type setup with the fianchetto on the king side. I think those openings are very closely related. If you play the Benoni or the Grunfeld, you should probably play something like the Dragon. Do I still live in Hungary? Yep. Yep, but I will be going back to the States for July and August, so we're going to be moving the stream to a later time. But you don't have to worry yet. Until the end of June, I'm going to be streaming at this time. I like Mog because he takes his time. I don't feel under that time pressure. Everybody else, I'm always crying because they're putting me in time pressure. This is a funny position where I had this recently against a couple of players, I think. It's not very common according to the lichess opening book. I had a couple guys like Grab here. I had another guy who played d4, and this is apparently like really bad for black. d4, and I found the right move, c5, which is like a terrific position. I think this is the best. Takes here, and now knight. You could trade queens though. I think I had a game that went knight d2, queen d4, queen a4. Maybe. I also play this kind of positions with black out of like the Scandinavian, believe it or not, similar types of positions. So we get our pawn back. We're thinking about maybe b3, bishop b2. I'm not interested in trading queens. Just a nice kind of clean position. Catalan, where someone asked me the other day, what is the Catalan? I mean, the Catalan is d4, d5, c4, e6, knight f3, knight f6, g3, basically. The Catalan is playing g3 on the white side of the... This is an interesting move, knight e5. What if we take here and then pin him? Put him in an awkward spot. So the Catalan is like basically playing a fianchetto on the white side of a queen's gambit. This bishop in the Catalan, that's black's problem here. He's been unable to develop his queen side. The bishop on c8 and the rook on a8. And the bishop on g2 bears down. And I think that's a very standard situation where it's hard for black to get out of this sort of paralysis on the long diagonal. Budapest, no. Close. Budapest. Yeah, I guess. Budapest. Budapest. It's not that exaggerated. Bela Lugosi Bela. Right, now what's happening here? We've actually helped him to defend the d7, but his knight is out in space, and we've got a bishop pair here that looks good. You know, these guys rock. A lot of long-term scope. Catalan is a very popular opening, and the reason why I'm talking about it, I mean, my move order is, he's got the d5 Blockadovich. He's going to stick a piece on d5, which is going to be hard for me to get out of there. So if I play e4 now, I block my own bishop, but we start looking for other possibilities. Chess is a difficult game, and oftentimes you have to change plans midstream. Here's a situation where I'm talking about the long diagonal, and now I'm suddenly completely switching plans. Completely switching plans, so blocking my own bishop to take away the key square d5. All of his pieces are begging for usage of that square. We're going to deny it to him with e4. And so he has trouble. He has trouble coordinating and functioning after that. The bishop isn't dead forever. I mean, we could potentially play e5 to free it later on. But most importantly, more important stuff is going on here. Maybe we just take over the open files in the center of the board. And once I heard somebody say that they believed, a strong player who philosophically claimed that chess was like a living organism. I could kind of see that philosophy, you know, from some kind of weird abstract level. If you think about chess, a chess position as a living organism, or like one side's position as a living organism, you can kind of look at your position as in terms of its health, how's the health of black's position here? It's not good, right? You've got a rook that's not developed, a bishop that's not developed, a knight on a bad square. The knight is on a bad square over there, and his only active piece, the rook, is unable to do anything by itself. Basically, it's nobody else is helping. So you got a very instructive position here. All the black pieces are not working together. This almost works. Whew, this is close. Knight c7. And then he has like only move. Only move here. Rook d8, and then I chop on b6 and play e5. Maybe there's other ways to do this, but we're threatening the b7 pawn. That's the very minimum. He was concerned about his knight, giving it a retreat square. But there's a bigger issue now. This is a good move. He realized that, so he's very strong tactically, just needs to improve positionally. He realized the threat of a bishop c6, and I don't know if it should go into a knight ending here. His king is well centralized. I think I have a better plan. Knight a8. The abstract square. A Tribe Called Quest. No, it's falling apart now. Let's get back to center. Yeah. Easily winning in game up 2 pawns. We should probably be... Yeah, that one's dropping too. Okay. Well, anyway, it was instructive. Thank you for the game. We don't have any more challenges. We lost our challenger. Does anybody... There it is. Last game. Okay. Constant Change came back. It was just his internet. This guy is a really good player. His blitz rating is... Well, I was talking about World Loser earlier. I mean, this is inexplicable. I mean, Constant Change... He scored 25% against me. Overall 100 games. There's no way that somebody who's 1900 in blitz is going to score 25% against the guy who's 500 points higher. This is... He said it's his internet. Very possible, but still. He's too good to be 1900. He's beaten me a lot. Knight takes a7. What? Bishop takes, double attack on a7 and d7. I probably had more accurate moves. I'm a little bit punch drunk today. I lost a number of games. I don't know, I'm a little foggy in the head. Don't really have any excuse though. I'm trying to find one, but my excuse is that I haven't played that much blitz in the last couple of weeks. So at the 5-3 time control, I seem to be not my usual sharp self. Okay, Constant Change doesn't usually play the Grunfeld. I think he's experimenting here. You've got to take on c3 because black is cramped after knight b6. This transposes to the Marshall defense, which is like an inferior opening for black after h3. He just doesn't have a way of freeing his position really effectively in this line. It's a tough call, but I guess we'll go with bishop e3 because this inhibits c5. There's a couple ways we could play. couple is the word of the day. Bishop e6 or f5. I mean, bishop e6 I could just play d5, so it's sort of debatable. Now, this move... This is not an accredited opening for black, basically. But I have to be a little bit careful. If queen d2, knight a5, b3... Position looks a lot like... like something. I don't have to play queen d2, though. We could play just bishop e2. It looks lame, though. I guess we'll try to be aggressive here. Alright. A constant change? I'm thinking that you know, this is actually a nice try. Analyzing this position a little bit in the past, for some reason, I always assumed this was just bad for black. But now looking at it, like seriously over the board, maybe it is the best try. I mean, if I played d5, I was a little unsure. You know, if that's really beneficial for me. I gain space, but we'll have to check this after the game. It doesn't seem that bad for black, although I don't like e6. That move seems inordinately slow, and it blocks your bishop on c8. Not that it has anything to do at the moment, but he's obviously concerned about d5 from me. We can shift gears and play h4, h5 Nakamura style now. I wonder. There's an f3 line against the Grunfeld. White plays like d4, d4, knight f6, e4, no, d4, knight f6, c4, g6, f3, which is pretty trendy. Okay, now there's a big question. Should I play h5 or e5 or both? We could play e5 with the idea of h5. This really keeps him bottled up. Killing the bishop on c8, kind of killing both bishops, if you will. We're still planning on h5, but I want to deny him any play. And he's got a great square, but that's it. Like one good square. Right here, like bishop g5 looks pretty good, followed by h5. If I know him well, he's threatening f4. Although there I have knight takes d5. Maybe he's not actually threatening f4. If he's not threatening f4, I could play h5 anyway. If he takes on e3, take back with the pawn. His position is probably in a lot of trouble here. h5 anyway, take back with the pawn. Still. Alright. It's a tough call. I think I have a number of good moves. Hope I'm not missing something. f4, knight takes d5, pawn takes e3, knight takes e3. You could try an exchange sacrifice there. Constant change also plays a strange line after d4. He's played d4, f5, c4, c5, d5, the so-called Clarendon Court defense. You know, maybe having played that, he feels like this is somehow similar. This is our last game for today. We'll be back on Sunday with a simul I didn't mention. Yeah, this isn't as good for me as I had hoped. I think we've let him off pretty lightly. More or less. How about something aggressive like g4? We just go g4. Is he planning on c5 or what here? I think it's too early to do g4 though. We got to get connected, get our rooks connected, and I don't know, but this is a weird position. It should be good for white, but it's not that smooth. We don't have that clear of plans. We have a space advantage, some threats along the h file, but maybe some g4. I wanted to wait until I castled to play g4. That was my last thought. Hungary's stalking their internets. What? Well, sometimes you get like lichess refreshing the site. Hello from Iraq. Hello, Iraq. Castles sort of preparing g4. I didn't want to play g4 while my king was still on e1 because he was taking here, and I started looking at crazy stuff like, oh my god, knight h2, queen h4 check. So we got to get out of there first. I've got to be honest, I wasn't really real happy to give up my dark squared bishop. Maybe if I had more time. I mean, bishop g5, I didn't like queen e8, and then he can like stop me from playing h5. Constant Change wouldn't hesitate to play like queen e8 and pawn takes h5. And this is a very, very risky move by black now. Wow, g5, loosening his own king side. You know, that might be suicidal. I wanted to play this anyway, you know, and actually, I don't need this move. I think g5 feels like a losing move to me. I wanted to play g4 anyway. And now we're going to just maul him on the M-A-U-L. Maul him on the white squares. Tactics, flash tactics, bishop d3. It's not quite in the cards yet, but I've got to believe. I mean, his pieces aren't playing. This is not playing. This is not playing. This is sort of, okay, defensively useful. That's it. Guarding f2 with this guy. So there's no counterplay. And I think his play is too slow here. His king side's going to get ripped apart. Bishop, all sorts of nasty stuff. Bishop g2, bishop e4. All my pieces filtering in. I think he might have been okay until g5. And he also doesn't have to take on g4, right? I mean, he could just sit there, try to play this position somehow without making this capture, but g5 was... maybe I think c6. It's a little ugly, but just securing the d5 square for his knight, probably the best. Maybe he saw something else that he was scared of. You know, I do have some threats, like knight h4. I'm not sure. Oh no. He found a tactical solution. Alright, I mean, I really, really don't care about my a2 knight. It's a little more unclear than I was hoping for. I have bishop h7 check. Maybe bishop h7 check should have been played, ladies and gentlemen. The primitive but effective. Still not too late. Life's just not that easy here for me. You have that? Okay, this got a little out of control. This got a little out of control. I mean, maybe I was always better. That's what the computer thinks. I'm always better. But what about previously? Apparently I never let it slip, but I should have played as I feared. I should have played bishop h7 or queen b4, which is another interesting move. So I think he was okay. I mean, I really do, you know, at some point. But g5 is crazy. He's not really okay, according to the engine, but this is still Harikiri, I think. Actually, the computer's evaluation goes down, or it doesn't change after that. g4 was a star move, though. I wanted to play that anyway. Alright, constant change. Pretty risky stuff for black. What am I supposed to play out of the opening? By the way, is knight c6 the best move? Yeah, apparently. It's the most common move. Probably best. I always thought about this, you know, for black, but it's super risky. You got to be a little out of your mind to play this for black. So, it's a more rational move to play knight c6. I should take a closer look at this. Glazirov couldn't beat it. Maxim Dlugy draw 1987. Oh, this guy Rainier Kraut actually played this. So the engine says that Glazirov is right. Something quiet. I liked queen d2. Now he's supposed to play f5, but he played e6. That's just slow. You're supposed to play f5 or e5. I guess f5. More dynamic. This is an actual line. I think that's probably slightly better. You know, e6 is... You know, here I don't have to play h4. I could improve my position with like castles or... The computer likes h4 though. Alright. f5. e5. And I thought this was the most interesting position. Yeah, my concern was bishop g5, queen e8. But positionally, white is just much better there. Knight takes d5 is also possible. I didn't consider that enough. I was looking at this, here, with the fact that this doesn't really work now, h5. So we have to play this. This was the first line I looked at, and I thought that white is better here, much better. Strategically, this is massive for white. But it's not a forced win. Anyway, constant change. I wouldn't risk this opening if I were you. Maybe just in blitz. We can't see the evaluation graph. Oh, sorry. Wait. Why? Why can't you see the evaluation graph? Am I stupid or something? That's the evaluation graph. Okay. Yeah, it was always bad. But I don't know, man. I guess for 5 minutes I would play this opening for black, but not in a longer time control. 30 minutes maximum rapid chess. Just too risky for black. Anyway, guys, we'll see you on Sunday. On Sunday, 6:30 p.m. CET is Simul I do here on lichess for 20 plus players. It's a approximately 3-hour time control, 40 minutes and 40 seconds per move, and it's usually fun. Every Sunday night at 6:30 p.m. CET. Hello from Norway. In 100 games blitz, how would you fare with Magnus Carlsen? Oh my god. Well, I don't think it would be too pretty, you know. I'd be lucky if I scored 10 probably. But I don't think I would even get that. I don't think I could get 10 points. I really doubt it. Too fast and too good. But who knows? I wouldn't fare well. I can guarantee that. So anyway, guys, we will see you soon. And thanks for watching the stream today. Again, if you've donated via PayPal to either support the stream or support my YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube, much appreciated. And feel free to drop me a small donation if you enjoyed the stream, you found it instructive. Please, it's a great way to say thank you. If you can't, just hang out with us on the stream and contribute here by taking part and enjoying it. So anyway, guys, have a good weekend. I will see you Sunday for said simul at 6:30 p.m. CET. Thanks, Plucro, for moderating, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.